Welcome everyone. In today's video I want to go over two topics. The first one being my KvK, how the Diplo ended up working out, the kind of the teams and what we can expect from this KvK. And the second thing I want to comment is the new Q&A that we got from the devs, which I think is super interesting. It's pretty much like 100% good stuff. I don't think they mention anything bad. I guess if there's something bad, they will not mention it though. But yeah, I really like what I wrote there. I think it's gonna help the game. So yeah, let's go first with the KvK. Okay, so as we can see, I'm already at Brinks of War. Okay, this Diplo was a bit hard because, well, I will explain it in a bit. But yeah, we check realm rankings. We can see us. We're top 1. 615 is following really close. Then we have 610, 614, 605. I mean, 613 is absolutely dead, like no doubt about it, like extremely fucking dead. It's kinda crazy. And these ones are pretty much dead too. Like, I'd say above 607, kinda, is where you, like, of course this is not a competitive kingdom though, but you know, like there's still some people playing actively every single day. See, these are like medium kingdoms, and then we have the very active kingdoms, which is us, 611 and 615. Personal record, SOP, 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 NLP, NLP, SOP, 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 RD, Roya, SOP, SOP, SOP. Okay, this is SOP 2, 611. Now you can see a lot of people from 611. What else? What else? Let me close this. Okay, so matchmaking. This is the map that we're gonna be playing on. It's the last one they released, the Shadow Dragon one. Here you can see the camps. So 611 is here. We're gonna be alone in our camp. 615 here, alone too. Then we have here 606 with 610. Here 608 with 614. 607 with 609, and then here you have 605, 612, 613, and 616. Okay, so you can see here, those are the zones that you need to go in to enter zone 5. The main fight, of course, is going to be between 611 and 615, but they do have the option to dodges, okay, because they can decide to go into this zone. They think this is a bit risky for them, because 610 can build into this zone, get to the passes, and be more prepared for PvP. Let's say 615 decides to fight against us. They do not build in the zone, they start building here, they lose, then now they need to reopen this zone, go through here, burn 610 territory, etc, etc. That's one of the main reasons I think we're gonna be dodge in the first zones, and we probably are not gonna see any action, to be honest. Because then on the other side, we have the most inactive kingdoms of all, you know, so I don't know, it's a bit of whatever. So how is the Diplo working out? Okay, so there's a group mainly, which is composed of some of these smaller kingdoms, like 610, 605, 608, 607, I think. We gotta keep in mind two things. 609 is pretty much 611, okay? So we took control over the R5 position in this kingdom, so it's pretty much an extension of 611. So yeah, so there's this group of small kingdoms that they group together. They don't like 615. I don't know what's the reasoning behind. I don't know if it's like personal problems. I know, for example, 614 doesn't really like 615 for a simple reason, which is they took a lot of their players, so they are kind of angry about that. The 614 in this KvK is a bit more of the incognita on what's going on with those guys. Because as far as I know, they don't have a real clear position. All I know is they don't really like 615. Okay, so whenever I entered this KvK, I came with the mindset of 611 versus all, or 611 allied with someone against everyone. Okay, because we're top 1 in power, we are really active, we have real fighters. Like, there's still, like, we got new people. Like, for example, we got the best of 609 and 612, okay, or last competition. Like, we got the best of those kingdoms, so we know those people are gonna fight. For example, the group of Koreans, I'm not that informed. Like, we have a lot of Koreans. We still need to see, we still need to see, honestly, how all the people work together, if people still show up, etc, etc, okay? But I do believe we're really strong right now. Plus, we have 2x the amount of T5s than than 615. So my idea was that we just show up, we pretty much fight against everyone for all zones, all zone 5, because I thought, one, we have still a good chance to win, second, it's gonna be the biggest amount of content for my alliance, which is honestly what I'm looking for, you know, like, is it winning good? Sure, but do you know what's the worst part? Going into a KvK and having 0 fights because everyone is dodging you, or there's no PvP at all. Because then everyone gets bored, people start thinking like, okay, why am I even playing this game? I have nothing to do for 2 months, people stop spending, everything is just way worse than, for example, fighting hard, and then losing. Like, at least you had fun, okay? Yes, you lost, kinda sucks, but at least you were engaged with the game. So that was the initial thought, which, I mean, you will see. So we know that we have a big block of kingdoms, of the smaller ones, like 608, 610, I think 605 too, and 607. It's pretty much most of these small kingdoms. Then we have 611, 615, and 614, okay? 614 is an unknown kingdom right now. We're not sure what they're gonna plan or what they're gonna do. We know all the small kingdoms kind of dislike 615, so that leaves 611 in a weird position. Because the situation is, they asked to be our allies. All, like, the group of small kingdoms were asking to be our allies, so we beat 615. Okay, like, they really want to see 615 go down, okay? Now, what's the issue? If we ally with literally half the map, and it will pretty much turn into all of us versus 615 and whatever 614 decides to do. Which I don't really like that, because I think, like, it's not that much that I really care about what happens with 615. Like, of course, I'd rather, like, keep kingdoms healthy. But it's more like, what fighting are we even gonna see in 611, you know? If we all gang up on not even the strongest kingdom in the server, so that for me was a bit of, I'm not really liking this. The other issue is, we don't really have, like, leverage on the trading, on the negotiation. Because the issue with this map is they can all dodge us. Let's say, for example, we refuse this and we decide to attack these camps here, 6-5, 6-12. They will literally not come here, those guys will come here, those guys will come here, those guys will come here, and these ones will fight with 615. We've been dodged, nothing to fight for. Okay, let's say we accept. We invade here, 615 will ignore us, and they will just go to 610, okay? So we're in a really weird situation where we really cannot, like, force the hand of people here, because one, there's, like, that large group of small kingdoms, and two, the layout of the map really helps everyone just dodging us if they want so. So at the end, the Diplo that I propose, and that has been accepted, at least by our side, is we're gonna be... It's not that we're gonna be allies, but we're not gonna mess with the kingdoms on that group in the initial zones, okay? We are assuming that 615 will first go for them, so they will try to remove them from this zone, win against them, and take control of these 2 zones, okay? That's the initial plan. So the idea is, we don't really mess with you, because, like, we can... I mean, even if they said no, we cannot really mess them. Like, they will just dodge us, and that's it, okay? So we said, okay, fine, but for zones 5, we still need to decide based on the performance of 615, okay? So we're gonna wait. If we see that 615 is not really dominating against this coalition of small kingdoms, 611 will go into zone 5, free for all. We're gonna hit anything that moves inside that zone, okay? Like, that's the deal. Of course, we're gonna communicate that whenever it gets closer, but if we see that 615 is not really delivering for its weight, it's just free for all, we smash everything, and yeah, pretty much we're just fighting anything that is not in 611. And 609, I guess. The other option is, we see that 615 just destroys this small kingdom coalition, then we can ally with them. At that point, we don't really expect those camps to have, like, a lot of fuel to fight, so it pretty much just becomes a 611 versus 615. The only difference is, at that point, we'll try to help some of these small kingdoms to get some end of season rewards. Honestly, I think that's the best approach. Like, from terms of probability to win the kingdom, really high for us, to be honest. You could even argue it's a Diplo win. I'm not gonna get mad about it. The issue is, like, what's the alternative? The alternative is going free for all, and we end up with the same result, which is we go into zone 5, everyone has dodges before that zone 5, and in zone 5 we just fight against everyone, which is the same that's gonna happen if this small coalition of camps just gets steamrolled by 615. So again, it's like we have no more options. Like, I've been thinking about this, like, we just have no leverage due to the situation and the kingdom positions in the map. So yeah, that's gonna be the Diplo pretty much. We don't mess with them on the early zones. I mean, pretty much they will build away from us. We hope 615 contests a bit us here, so we got some fighting, but honestly, from a strategic point of view, the best they can do is secure this zone, rather than try to gamble in here, and then if they lose here, they need to now push and burn all 610 territory that they built here. Okay, so and then yeah, based on the performance on these zones mainly, okay, depending on the performance here, we decide we either go free for all inside the final zone, which is 611 against anything that builds there, or we just ally with those small camps, which pretty much is still, like, it should in theory be kind of like a 1 versus 1, 611 versus 615, and the other small camps, I guess they will do something with the elixir, but pretty much at that point they will be burnt out of resource healing and everything. We don't have much, like, there's no other option. Even if I were to say now in Diplo, 611 is free for all, they'd say, okay, cool, dude. They will literally dodge us, we cannot do anything, we're still gonna hunt 615 because that's the biggest opposition, and then we get into the final zone and it's the same free-for-all that's gonna be if 615 beats the other kingdoms fast. So yeah, that's pretty much the Diplo for this KvK. Is it perfect? No, I don't think so, to be honest, but I do believe I try to find a middle ground where it's like balanced. No joke, obviously it's really in favor of 611, like from all perspectives. Like, one, yes, I want my kingdom to win, and second, like, it's gonna be in our favor no matter what, due to the issue is those kingdoms will not ally with 615. Okay, they dislike 615, and for that simple reason, it already breaks any possibility that 611 is fighting every single other kingdom in the map. Like, they will rather not fight us, and just, like, they will not ally with 615. Like, that's it. Like, there's no more to it, okay? So yeah. That's pretty much for this KvK. I really hope there are some good fights. At least we can see that 615 is really active, which is nice to see. This leads to me to believe that it's gonna be a struggle for 610 to hold, well, 610 and the coalition to hold against 615, but that's still to be seen, to be honest. So yeah, this wraps up my upcoming KvK, and now let's move to the second part, which is the Q&A, which I really liked. Okay, so here we have it. Okay, it's another Q&A. Cool. First question: will you make it possible to retain Seals of Power between Heights of Power events? That's good. We're planning to change the rule for Heights of Power events starting at the end of this month. I assume this already includes the upcoming Heights of Power, which is the 1st of July. I guess that's the way, like, they line up this situation. Now, this is really huge. Seals of Power will no longer be scrapped when the event ends and will be carried over to future Heights of Power events. Okay, so now you can push every single race of power you want just to accumulate that currency to get the skins that you want in the future. Okay, of course, we're also aware that a lot of players didn't have enough Seals of Power to exchange this for city themes or adornments in the last Heights of Power event and had to settle for other items instead. So after this change, we'll be refunding all Seals of Power spent on items that were not city themes or adornments in the previous event, and removing those items that the Seals of Power were spent on. Pretty much they're resetting you whatever you spend the currency on, they're giving you the currency again, and they're giving you the chance to get the city skin or the same reward, so it will just be a net profit for you. Okay, no complaints here. The only thing I really like that they add is the chance to buy past skins. Like, at the end, everyone's pushing a shit ton of power, everyone is doing a lot of effort, just let me pick the skin that I really want. Okay, I mean, I get it why they wouldn't do it, so, like, you need to push more Heights of Power, but then again, like, I can be pushing 1, 2, 3, just accumulate the currency, and then get the skin that I want. So at this point, I think they just could pretty much add on the shop the selection of the skin. Question 2. It's easy for enemies to concentrate their attacks on a single legion, ruining the fun of combat. Are you doing anything to resolve this? We've taken this into consideration and will making changes to the rules of combat. This rule change will increase the survivability of legions who come under attack from large numbers of opponents, increasing the amount of time they can spend in combat and improving the battle experience. I really love this, and I asked for this in Rise of Kingdoms for years, okay? For me, like, I get the concept that if you're getting surrounded, like, you get a debuff from a strategic point of view. The issue is for gameplay experience, it sucks, because it's a roulette, especially in Rise of Kingdoms. Here, like, people tend to target some stuff over the other, but in Rise of Kingdoms, with the current combat, you just target where it's in front. At the end, like, that kind of kills the skill expression, because at the end you're just doing RNG on are you getting targeted or not. Then if I'm getting swarmed by so many people, like, I don't know, I feel I'm being punished. Like, of course, like, punishing people that maybe, like, position themselves wrong is fine, but many other times you're just in the middle of the murder ball, and then just because of RNG, some random whale just 5 targets you, drops every single artifact on you, and you literally just get one shot, even with infantry, okay? So I really like that they're changing this. I'm not really sure what they're doing, because, like, are they, for example, just removing the debuff that increases damage when you're swarmed? Like, that for me, maybe already does it. Are they, like, adding, like, for example, let's say you keep that mechanic in. Are you adding that? Like, I don't know, why would you keep that mechanic inside the game while you're adding another mechanic to reduce the game, like, the damage of getting swarmed? Maybe, like, for example, if you just get swarmed by 5 marches, you get, like, all the the normal the damage you're getting now. But if it's something crazy like 20-40 marches, then like a buff for your march happens where you get, like, insane defense. I think that could work too. So swarming a march still has a benefit, unless it gets to a ridiculous spawn in big fights where you're just literally being targeted by, like, I don't know, 20 marches and you literally just explode. So I'm really hyped to see what they are doing with this, and I think this is going to be really good for the game. Question 3. Reducing the length of season means that players can buy fewer items in the Merit Store, making the War Pets training process slower. Will you also be shortening the time between resets in the Merit Store? We've received a lot of feedback on this issue lately, suggesting that the Merit Store should be open more frequently. We do not consider this a viable change to make. Now, when I read this, I said, fuck, they are not doing anything to the Merit Shop. But hold on, because they are cooking. A pattern of daily and weekly refreshes is better suited to most players' schedules. Okay, so here I guess this is something that I think it's really not problematic. It happens to a lot of us. There's people that are more and less invested into the game. For a person that maybe spends 6 or 8 hours fighting, like the daily refreshes, it means nothing. It's like, okay, dude, I just got 3 mil merits in 1 hour, and now I emptied the shop, and that's it for me. And then you have the more casual player who actually, like, imagine like one of those crackheads like me who maybe spends 10 hours doing PvP non-stop, could just refresh non-stop the shop. We'll be getting so many skills, so many elixirs, so many stuff, and I'm not saying that's wrong, because I'm investing a shit ton of time, resources, my marches, etc, etc. But I guess they are trying to balance the crackheads with the people that maybe just play casually 1-2 hours of PvP and then they relax, you know. But they are doing some good changes. 1. The main store will be open in the rest period between seasons, allowing players to purchase items in their home realm. This is huge. Like, seriously, like, there's such a massive gap between being in home kingdom and in KvK map. Like, extra warrants every single day to get more pets. You have the shop to buy skills, to buy elixir. Like, my account, the infantry one, it's on a KvK, yes, but I cannot access the functions of the KvK, like doing PvP. I cannot clear my hospital every single time. Like, I have 1.4 mil T4s in the hospital. I drop to 7k, Battle Abyss comes in, I literally fight there, it's back to 1.4 mil, okay? Now imagine I could be doing PvP, for example, on Home Realm, buying elixir bottles, buying everything I want with the merits that I'm getting from Battle Abyss. Now Battle Abyss has way more value because you just can spend that currency, so I really like this change. The tier system of merit stores will be removed, making high-level items available from the merit store at the beginning of each season. This will help to meet players' needs more quickly during the season. This is really huge. I hope they are not bullshitting us, because they can't be saying that they are giving us the highest tier, and at the end they make like a medium tier between what we had before and what we will have now. I want to believe them that it's going to be the highest tier. This is really good, especially for skills like Fatal Bite, like the 1-star skills that are really expensive and you can grind with merits. I love this. Third one, the number of regeneration potions available, both free and paid for, will be significantly increased in future updates. This is massive, especially for free-to-plays, because I'm experiencing this on my infantry account. My infantry account, I'm waiting for the events. I thought it'd be this week. It's gonna be probably in the end of, we know it's coming in early June. So I don't have the monthlies, for example. I do not, I don't know, maybe 3 days go by and I just got two regen potions. That's it. There's really no way to get regen potions. Now, with this, I'm really happy to see, because now I can grind merits with my infantry account and I can spend them on more potions, so I can, again, today I spent 50 potions to get that, a reroll on a legendary pet. No legendary pet. This should not be a currency that it's really gatekept and is more available to literally everyone. So I'm really happy about this change. Question 4. During the season, alliance members often to switch between multiple alliances. Yeah, the usual switching in PvP. Increasing the allow list to 200 makes absolutely sense. I don't know why I should only have 150 if I trust, I can select to put someone or not there. So if I trust 200 people to be joining and leaving one alliance, I should be able to do it, okay? So that's good. Improving the allow list feature to allow alliance administrators to set the ranking each member will receive upon joining. I love this. I hate having to move people up and down all the time. It's so exhausting. Now people, they will join through the allow list, which allows them to join automatically without me having to put any input, and they will be instantly assigned to the preset rank. So this is really good for any leadership in the kingdom. Adding an auto-approval feature: when an alliance requires approval to join, alliance administrators will be able to set power merit requirements. Okay, fine. I really like more the two first messages. Next question, number 5. Alliance management privileges are often only open to officers, making management unwieldy. Will you do anything to fix this? We're currently working on a feature which will allow the alliance leader to choose which alliance management privileges are granted to each membership rank, allowing alliances to customize I think this is fine, but then again, I don't know, you have the R5 and then 10 R4s, so I think this is fine. Maybe you can give some, minor role to R3s, which you trust them more, but I don't think this is gonna have that big of an impact. Your R4s and R5s are your most trustworthy people and the ones that you trust to manage the kingdom. So yeah, not sure. This one is huge too. Question 6. The Rules of War registration process is arduous for alliance administrators. Will you make it more streamlined? We are planning to make the following improvements to resolve this issue. Administrators will be able to use the same list of participants from the previous Rules of War registration. This is really good. Doesn't require you to be checking every single person that will show up and grab their name. Maybe it's in characters that you don't even that you can even write on your keyboard. Really good stuff. Each alliance will be able to register up to 6 Roots of War teams. I love this. Right now, in my alliance, in 611, we're so full that we need to go to the Alt Alliance and to make 2 teams there to fill with people. This way, everyone plays from sub, no need to move anywhere else. Okay, so this is perfect. Oh wait, but this is still super early, so this will not be coming in a long time. When will you make a Roots of War League available? Plans are underway for Roots of War League. The first tournament is expected to take place in August of this year. I was expecting this, to be honest, when they announced it. I expect some big patch in summer, maybe with a new faction, maybe? A huge push in, for example, marketing, with a huge update, with a new faction in summer where people tend to have more time. It could be huge. And I mean, 90% of what I said is my speculation, okay? But yeah, Roots of War League, I really like this event. I was Ark of Osiris League manager. I was making the planning on Rise of Kingdom, so I really like this event. I think it's the maximum expression of competitiveness, and then if you add the combat system of Call of Dragons, I think this can be spectacular, to be honest. League rules and rewards will be announced in advance on all community platforms, so keep an eye on them. Cool. This is huge, and I never thought I'd see this in Call of Dragons, because it never happened to Rise of Kingdoms. The Liana's Crisis event has become unappealing for players with maxed out heroes. Will you add a new way to use surplus abandoned puppets or a new gameplay mode? We'll continue to add new epic heroes, okay, that's cool, especially if they are like the new one, and events to take the place of Liana's Crisis in future updates. We will also add ways to scrap or exchange surplus abandoned puppets. I have like, I don't know, let me check, how many do I have? 135. I hope I can get something good out of it, because I never really bother with Elianas. So yeah, this is a change that many people might not think it's crazy, but considering they never really went with this in Rise of Kingdoms, I think this might be like a precedent to open other future changes to the game. Logging on every day to update buildings, research tech, and train legions requires switching between multiple interfaces. What will you do to make this process easier? We're planning to add a new queue management panel to the left side of the screen, which players will be able to open when needed. This feature will help players to quickly manage multiple queues. I really like this, like, I don't know, being in my city and be like, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here. Now I claimed all my troops, and I gotta go again, click here, like, I don't know, like, I'm not getting an engagement from that. I rather prefer that it's simplified, so I'm all for this. Now this is for me is the most controversial one. I said it was 100% good Q&A. Maybe it's not 100%. Marksman units are already too strong. Are you sure that buffing them any further won't unbalance the game? The planned changes will not make Marksman Legions range equal to Magic Legions. Instead, they will provide options that players can switch between. Switching to long distance mode will cause Marksman Legions to lose some of their original attributes advantages. For example, they will receive a reduction in attack, defense, and HP. This does not mean that Marksman Legions are being buffed and Magic Legions are being weakened, or that Marksman Legions will be able to take the place of Magic Legions on the battlefield. First thing that worries me is the balancing. You're subtracting stats from the march, which, I mean, like, defining balance in a game like this is extremely hard. Because let's say, for example, like, you're basing off the balance of Margaret side archers. So, like, you know, like, you balance the archers based on that march, so now all the other marches are pure garbage, because this one is so strong that, like, you know, like, how do you balance it out of Nico Kinara? Then maybe you make them stronger, so then Margaret Zaida is literally like unkillable and just a killing machine. Like, I don't know. And then, like, I don't think the issue with marksmen is the range. I think the issue with marksmen is in the infantry gameplay. So I've seen in Battle Abyss, I've seen in PvP, okay? So what's the strongest thing of mages? The strongest thing of mages is that they can literally free DPS. They have so much range that they can sit behind, and even if they don't deal as much damage as cavalry or archers, because they are barely threatened by other marches, they can just free DPS, they don't need to move, they can cast the skills like super quick, like for free, so that gives them good reports and supremacy. But then again, like, you see what happens when a team has no infantry and the other team has infantry, archers, etc. Infantry will push in, instantly mages will retreat, marksmen now can free DPS, and an archer march doing free DPS is the highest damage per second you can have in the game, okay? Cavalry have burst, single target hits that are super huge in damage, but the longer they go, the less damage they deal, versus an archer, which doesn't have a huge nuke, like a huge starting nuke, but if you let an archer just grind your march, it's gonna destroy you, okay? So I'm really worried about it. Then again, like, if you make archers same range as mages, you nerf the damage and tankiness of marksmen, how is that not mages already? Like, I don't know, again, maybe buffing infantry so there's more people using infantry in the field, being the front line, allowing archers to really go like a bit deeper and hitting the enemy mages is the solution, not rather like doing this weird change. For me, I think sounds like a lazy solution. So the process thought is people complain about range, people complain that mages are too strong because they can hit from far away, so we give range to archers, reducing their stats to make them a bit weaker. It's like, I don't know, it's like too much of a straight line to a solution that probably is not a solution, but just maybe doesn't further amplify the problem, but neither really solves the core problem, which I think is once the infantry dies, archers become the front line, they literally get one shot, they explode, and people complain. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Overall, it's really positive. I really like this Q&A. I hope they implement everything they said except for the question turn. I don't think marksman need this. I think infantry needs a buff so marksman can actually play the game and not just be a punching bag for like, because then again, like, the comparison is like, again, like, you cannot compare one, like, a guy with 3 marches of archers when he's getting swarmed by 200 mages, because that's most of the end game. Like, when you see Older Kingdoms, like, that's pretty much all the PvP. It's like 100 dudes, okay, with 5 mages each one, so now you have 500 marches of mages, 10 people with 1 march of infantry on their side, and then maybe 20 archer marches. There's so many mages that they will one-shot the infantry. Once the infantry is dead, they will literally just one-shot the marksman. And then you have the other 200 mages from the enemy side, and now it's a mage fight. And then you have Cavalry doing Cavalry things on the backline, just being a menace. So maybe actually, like, this change here, or is it? Is it here? Yeah, maybe this is actually what benefits archers, because this in theory should make infantry more tanky, thus allowing archers to free DPS a bit more. Or even if an archer gets swarmed by, like, I don't know, 20 mages, the trait is not as awful due to the high counterattack damage, and now the reduction in damage received from the swarm. Like, I think they might need to split this up, introduce first question 2 solution, see how the PvP is doing, if archers are still kind of suck, even though, like, for now you see that the infantry is performing better, because even when they get swarmed they survive longer. Like, I don't know, I think they need to maybe wait a bit more on the archer things. So yeah, catch you in the next one.